Hey there, saints of St. James and friends. This is not a sermon. It's not a teaching. I guess we could call it Father Randy's Rambling Ruminations or Father Melton's Mystical Musings. That's what we used to call it, isn't it? Mystical Musings. Actually, it's just a chit chat to offer a few things that were on my mind that I wanted to share with you. The first thing is I got a letter from the bishop the other day with lots and lots of details about all kinds of stuff. It's just his fifth letter to the clergy. And the one thing he did say is that we will not be coming back into church for services any earlier than May 17th. He did not give May 17th as a starting date, but he did say we'll be doing as we're doing through May 10th, which means that maybe we'll be back in church by May 17th, but if we are, it's going to be just like it was the last time we were in church. No touching, the whole 9 yards, probably no Sunday school, no fellowship time to speak of initially. We'll grow into that. It'll be kind of a reverse of what we've done this point. But we don't know yet, and that's going to go on for a long while, as he suspects. It'll be... I don't know. I'm not even going to try to guess how long it'll be before we'll be in that kind of state, but it'll be a slow developing thing. As you probably know by now, Governor Abbott is in the process of opening Texas back up, and the headlines, that's all they say pretty much, and everybody's freaking out who thinks it's too soon, and those who think, well, this should have been done a long time ago are going, yahoo, day after tomorrow is going to be just like it was 2 months ago. Well, neither of y'all have anything to worry about. It ain't going to be either way. I just watched his news conference, and that's the only way you're going to get real news. Actually listen to the source. Sounds like a very reasoned plan, very slow developing plan, and a plan that is keeping the medical situation at the forefront in terms of decisions as they develop. And it's not anything like the headlines seem to make it sound. So watch the news conference directly. You can Google it, or if you need the actual link, I'll be happy to give it to you. If you have Facebook, I posted it on my Facebook page. So that said about our services coming up, the second thing I wanted to tell you was the bishop says, a lot of clergy take vacation time the week after Easter. And actually, I'm supposed to be on my vacation, a 2-week vacation starting yesterday. So he is putting together for clergy who are solo, like me, a service and a sermon. I just got it and reviewed it, and it's about 35 minutes long. You won't have the worship guide. If you want to use the prayers from our worship guide that I sent out last week, feel free to. But this is just a kind of a regular Eucharistic service with a sermon. But the problem is I didn't hear about this till late Wednesday. I was already halfway into my sermon, so last night I went ahead and finished my sermon. So it didn't really save me any time. But after you watch the service, it'll be much shorter than what we've been doing. But please watch it at 9 o'clock on Sunday. And then following that, I will send you my sermon later that afternoon. So you get a bonus sermon. And you can, I think I'm saying a little bit different message than the bishop. He's going a different direction, but that's okay. You get different points of view. That's a good thing. It'll be good to have an outside preacher's voice too. That's always a good thing periodically. The other thing is I got a letter the other day. Paul told me you have a priority mail letter with almost $8 worth of postage on it from somebody in Dallas. And he told me the name, and I didn't know this person at all. It's a long foreign name. Well, it turns out that this is from somebody who I knew in Gonzales, Texas when I lived there. There's a man named Gasper. I won't try to say his last name. He's a friend of mine, but I never could say his last name. He's from Albania, and he owns 2 area restaurants there and another one in Victoria. And Gasper is from Albania, and he brings in people from Albania who want to become American citizens, a lot of his cousins and relatives and friends, and he kind of trains them up in the restaurant business, gives them jobs and so on. So he's just a really, really nice man and a very, very dedicated patriot of the USA. He got his citizenship finalized when I was in Gonzales, and we had a big celebration for that. But here's the letter I got anyway. I want you to look at the penmanship. Is that amazing? At first, I thought that was written off a computer with, penmanship cursive print on it, but it's not. This is actually somebody who actually wrote this. I was really impressed. I mean, we don't write letters enough anymore to keep our penmanship up. But here's what it says. I want to read it to you. Dear Father Randy, my name is Rigers. Last name I can't say. I am a friend of Gasper from Gonzales, Texas. Back in 2014, you and Gasper helped a college student buy his first car by donating $500. I remember that because this was someone who worked as a waiter at Gasper's Italian restaurant. And he was working his way through college in Victoria, which is about 45 minutes away, and didn't have transportation. So anyway, he says, I helped him buy his first car by donating $500. I am that college student, and I have been waiting for a while to be able to thank you for your great help and generosity. Furthermore, my wife, Adelina, and I have decided to donate a small amount of our own to your church. Whether you use it to help the next college student to buy a car as his first car, or however you deem appropriate, I hope that this, in some little way, may express how thankful we are for your help. Thank you again, and happy Easter. Rigers and Adelina. And enclosed in that letter was a $1,000 check. $1,000 check. Wow, I was stunned. Talk about bringing a smile to my face. And I remember the guy. Back in 2014, the last time I saw him, he delivered a pizza to my table and was really excited about his new car. So anyway, I put that $1,000 into the Rector's Ministry Fund, formerly known as the Discretionary Fund. That's where I help people who come to the church or people within the church who need help. And the fund is a pretty healthy place right now, but MAGS has been suffering, as you can imagine. The 6 churches are not contributing like they once did, and there's no help from outside churches. Kelly's doing all this stuff with 2 other people and really, really working hard. But they are getting to the point where they're needing money. And I don't want to ask you for money right now because we're still trying to get our operating fund funded. So what I did is I took that check and I added another $1,000 and sent MAGS $2,000 to help them. And I figured during this time, what better and easier way to help people in need than to go through MAGS because the church isn't open. So anyway, that was just something I wanted to share. And the other part of that story that kind of spoke to me as I just sent that letter out about stewardship and about pledges was that there are times like this young man, Rigers, when he was just starting out in this country and in college, and he didn't have any money. He didn't have any money and had to have some help from others. He couldn't contribute anything to that car. And now he's in a position, I assume he's graduated from college, and he's got a job in Dallas. He lives over off Southwestern, which is near the Village Apartments, nice area. And, he's able to give the church $1,000. There are times in our lives, and I know some of you are struggling right now with the way the finances are, the economy is, maybe with jobs, maybe layoffs, whatever, where you're not in a position to give to the church. And I totally understand. I get it. There's times in our life when we just have to pull back. And others are able to maintain what they've been giving, and even others maybe help make up for those who aren't able to give right now. So we give as we are able. And that's the best we can do, especially in times like this. So pray about that. If it would really be a tremendous hardship for you to give, then don't give right now. It's like sometimes people can't pray. I'm in a position where I just find it really hard to pray. So you ask other people in the church to pray for you. I tell you what, I'll pray for you the next 2 months. You don't worry about praying. You give me your needs, I'll pray for them. And then when you're ready to pray again, you can pray. We do this for each other. And so I don't want anybody to feel guilty or anything about your giving level. But I do want you to be prayerful about it because it does pay our bills. It does pay for our expenses for ministry and mission. And all those things are so important in the life of our church. one of the things we do so well is pray, whether we're together or separate. We pray together in spirit all the time, just as we will Sunday at 9 o'clock. So anyway, that was the second thing, or the third thing, I guess, I wanted to tell you about. And finally, the last thing, I would like for you, if you wouldn't mind, to send me an email and let me know if you have an iPhone or a Droid phone in terms of cell phone, and if you have a computer, because this kind of makes a difference in what kind of instrument I try to use to make small group meetings, which I'm really going to work on. I know I promised this a couple of weeks ago, but there's some that work better depending on the phones you have. And so I'm learning about others. If you don't have an iPhone, what would work better? If you do have an iPhone, what might work best? And I'll try to start putting some small groups together and making some phone calls where we can see each other's faces and at least talk to each other, even if we can't see our faces, even if that part doesn't work. And we'll see where we go from there. What else? I guess that's about it right now. I will send you, probably tomorrow, I'll send you that link from the bishop, and I'll send you a link to the Governor Abbott's press conference, if you'd like to look at that. We think we're getting over the hump, and that things maybe in the next couple of weeks will start to go the other direction, but we have to be very, very careful not to re-enter and get back to normal and ignore social distancing and all that, or else we'll be right back in the position where we're in right now. And we certainly want to avoid that. We want to come out on the other side of this as well as we can. So that's all I have to say right now. If I have any other announcements, maybe I'll try to kind of do this once a week, something just informal. I can't really call it chit-chat because it's a one-way chit-chat. But maybe we'll figure that part out later as well. I hope you're doing well and communicating with each other in whatever ways you can with keeping your distance, and stay safe. And I will talk to you a little later. God bless you. I love you guys. Bye.